Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lena. If you are new here, Happy New Year. I know that I'm about 2 weeks late or 2 weeks into the new year, but it's still the beginning of January, so I can say Happy New Year. Hope you all have had a blessed and fun, productive start to your new year, to 2023. So I am here to talk about a few things. Well, I was actually going to talk to you all about a story time regarding the police and type 1 diabetes and myself, but we're not going to talk about that today. You guys should like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all the things that I would do if I were you. And instead, we are going to talk about things that you should not say to a type 1 diabetic. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into what today's video is about. So if I keep looking around, it's because I'm watching my friend's puppy. I've been watching him for the past like 10 days, and he's just running around the apartment. Alright guys, so here are a few things that you should never ask a diabetic. Number one, don't ask a diabetic. Don't ask a diabetic if they can eat something. Of course we know what we're eating, we know what we're doing, we know how much insulin we're supposed to take for the food we're eating, and it just comes off as really rude. Don't ask that. Number two, don't ask me why I'm not overweight. Don't ask a diabetic like why they're not overweight, because one, diabetics and diabetes is just not a monolith, and we all come in different shapes, sizes, and colors. So don't ask, that's rude. Number three, don't tell anyone that them being a diabetic, because they are a diabetic, they are going to lose a limb. You would be surprised how rude some people are and how hurtful that is to hear. No one wants to hear that. And my condolences if you have had someone who had to lose a limb because they're diabetic. My condolences, but don't say that to a diabetic. You know, it's just not right, especially me. Avoid saying that, oh, you're a diabetic, did you know that you can lose your toe or your leg? You don't want to hear it, so don't say it. Okay, don't tell me or any diabetic that they don't look like a diabetic, because what does that mean? Like, what does a diabetic look like? And also, it's considered an invisible illness, so that's why typically people don't know that someone is a diabetic. So yeah, don't say that. Don't tell me that you'd never inject yourself if you were a diabetic, because yes you would. That one's self-explanatory. If you want to live, or you'd be on a pump, whichever. And eventually technology, as we all know, can mess up and glitch, so we know that if you want to live, you would need to take your insulin. And then don't tell me, okay, so this kind of relates to what I said about losing limbs, because usually people equate that to like an older relative of theirs, or like an animal or a pet that they have. But don't say to a diabetic that, like, it's okay, you know, like, it's all about your delivery, right? So like saying that your grandparent passed away from diabetes, and you know, you want to know more about my specific diabetes, or whoever it is that you're talking to is different. Like, it's in the way that you deliver what you're trying to say. So just make sure that what you're asking comes off as authentic, as opposed to just like, oh, you have diabetes, my cat died from that, or you know what I mean? Just, it's in the way that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Don't say to a diabetic that we could have prevented this illness, because specifically for type 1 diabetes, it is an autoimmune disease in which case that my body attacked itself. So no, there was absolutely nothing that I could have done to prevent having type 1 diabetes. So just make sure that you have these things down packed, and just be mindful when you're speaking to someone who battles some kind of illness, and just know that however you're asking a question, we remember that and we internalize it. So diabetes already comes with enough hardships as it is, so just keep these things in mind. So those are a few things that you should not say to anyone with diabetes. I'm going to run through that one more time real quick. So 1, don't ask a diabetic if they can eat a specific food. They know what they cannot eat and how much insulin to dosage for the food they're eating. Don't ask a diabetic why they aren't overweight. Some diabetics are, and that's okay. Just don't comment on people's weight. How about that? Don't say that we'll lose our limbs. That's not very nice. It's actually hurtful, so don't say that. Don't say that we don't look like a diabetic. What does a diabetic look like? It's an invisible illness. Although like it's an invisible illness, but sometimes, I mean, now with like technology, right, we have like CGMs and pumps, but prior to that, like if you look at my fingertips, they're not really that bad. They're not really there anymore. They used to be bad because that was prior to me being on a CGM. Don't tell me you never inject yourself, because if you want to live, you have to take insulin. Stop it. Stop, baby. Stop. The dog was getting into, I don't know what he was doing or something. You know how dogs are. Don't tell me there's a cure and I can cure myself. Oh, I didn't say that. Oops. I like completely missed that one. So let me say that. Do not tell a diabetic there's a cure, because for type 1 diabetes, there's no cure. None. There's none.
Don't tell diabetics that there's a cure for type 1 diabetes, because as of now, there isn't.
So we are insulin dependent for life. So those are all of, those are some points that I came up with that you should be mindful of. Just try to be mindful of what you say to someone with a illness, because you know, when you have an illness and you're dependent on a medication or a hormone for life, then things affect you differently. So just be mindful of the way you say things. And sometimes people are just genuinely curious about, you know, what is diabetes? What do you suffer from? But it's, again, like how you say it and not what you say. So that also is another factor. So I hope you all enjoyed this short little video, and I will talk to you all soon. Let me know a little bit more about what you guys would love to see from me, and I will take heed to what you all leave in the comment section. I want this to be a community where people can share what they feel about not only diabetes but other invisible illnesses and the misconceptions surrounding that. And I don't want this to be just strictly a diabetic channel, because I feel like that is not all that I represent. It's definitely a big part of me, but it's not all I represent. But I do also want to have a safe space for people with invisible illnesses, specifically Black women and people with diabetes, because we don't have many safe spaces for us. Say bye, Kiko. Say bye. Say bye, Kiko. He's so cute. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all the things that I would do if I were you. Thanks guys, I really appreciate it. And remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. All right, see you guys, catch you in the next video, which is gonna be, I think, a story time. All right, bye.